Admiral Vextar Cole stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking out at the stars. His reptilian skin gleamed under the bright lights. Behind him, hundreds of officers worked at their stations. The Dominion's Pride was the largest warship in the Galactic Empire's fleet. It was also the most feared. "Admiral," called his second-in-command, "we have reached the edge of the Forbidden Zone." Cole turned around. His yellow eyes showed no fear. "Forbidden," he said with a laugh. "What makes these humans so special? We have conquered 847 worlds. Earth will be number 848. Dr. Jiwon Park looked up from her research station. She was one of only 3 humans on the ship. The Empire kept humans as scientists because they were good at solving problems. But they never let humans hold important positions. Park had been studying alien biology for 2 years. She pretended to be happy working for the Empire. But inside, she was always watching and listening. "Sir," Park said carefully, "the old records say we should not go to Earth. The predecessors left warnings." Cole walked over to her station. He was much taller than her. His claws tapped against the metal surface. "The predecessors are dead, human. They have been gone for 1,000 years. Their warnings mean nothing now." Park nodded and looked down at her work. But she was thinking about the message she had received 3 days ago. It came through a hidden channel that only humans knew about. The message was simple. The harvest season approaches. She knew what it meant. Earth was ready. In the prison section of the ship, Captain Hyunwoo Kim sat in his cell. He had been captured 6 months ago during a small fight near the outer colonies. The Empire thought he was just a traitor who got in their way. They did not know he was an officer in the Earth Defense Force. They did not know he had seen their real military power. A guard came to his cell. "The Admiral wants to talk to you," the guard said. Kim was brought to a small room where Admiral Cole waited. The alien leader sat behind a metal table. His claws drummed against its surface. "Human," Cole said, "I am told you have been to Earth recently. Tell me about your world's defenses." Kim smiled. "Admiral, you should listen to the old warnings. Earth is not what it appears to be." "Explain." "We look weak because we want to look weak. We grow food and trade with nearby systems. We act like we cannot fight, but that is all pretend." Cole leaned forward. "You lie. Our scouts have watched your world for years. You have no real warships. Your cities have no shields. Your people spend their time farming and building pretty buildings." "That is what we want you to see," Kim said. "Admiral, I have seen what we really have hidden. If you attack Earth, you will lose everything." The Admiral's eyes grew angry. "I have conquered worlds with billion-year-old civilizations. I have destroyed fleets that could blow up stars. Your little farming world does not scare me." Kim shook his head. The predecessors were not weak. They ruled half the galaxy. But something made them so afraid of Earth that they marked our space as forbidden. Think about what could scare beings that powerful. "Take him back to his cell," Cole ordered the guard. Later that day, the Admiral met with his war council. The room was filled with officers from different alien species. All of them had sworn loyalty to the Empire. All of them believed the Empire could not be beaten. "Gentlemen," Cole said, "tomorrow we begin the final conquest. Earth and its system will fall within 1 week. After that, the entire galaxy will belong to us." Commander Yuki Tanaka stood at the back of the room. She was another human who worked for the Empire, or at least that is what everyone thought. She had actually been placed on the ship years ago by Earth's intelligence service. She listened to every word the Admiral said. "Sir," asked one officer, "what about the predecessor warnings? Should we be careful?" Cole laughed. "The predecessors left warnings about many things. They said not to wake sleeping gods. They said not to disturb ancient machines. They said not to travel to the galaxy's center. These were just the fears of a dying race. We are stronger than they ever were." Tanaka watched as the officers nodded. They believed their admiral completely. They had no idea what was waiting for them. "Our fleet has 10,000 ships," Cole continued. "We have weapons that can crack planets in half. We have soldiers who have never lost a battle. What can one small world do against such power? After the meeting, Tanaka went back to her quarters. She locked the door and activated a hidden communication device. The screen showed a secure channel that connected directly to Earth. "This is Agent Tanaka," she said quietly. "The fleet will jump to hyperspace tomorrow morning. They are bringing everything they have, 10,000 ships. Admiral Cole believes this will be an easy victory," a voice replied from Earth. "Understood. Make sure you are ready to help Captain Kim when the time comes. And Agent Tanaka, tell your friends on the ship to find safe places when the shooting starts." The next morning, alarms rang throughout the Dominion's pride. Officers ran to their stations. The Admiral walked onto the bridge wearing his full battle armor. "All ships report ready, sir," called the navigation officer. "Excellent. Begin the jump. Set course for the Sol system." Dr. Park felt the ship shake as the hyperspace engine started up. She looked out the window and watched the stars change into long lines of light. The Empire's greatest fleet was now traveling toward her, homeworld, but she was not afraid. She was excited. The trip through hyperspace took 12 hours. When they came out, the Sol system spread before them. Earth looked blue and green and peaceful. The moon hung nearby like a silver coin. Everything looked exactly like the Empire scouts had reported. "Scan for defenses," Cole ordered. "I see orbital farms around Earth," reported the sensor officer. "Some trading stations near the asteroid belt, a few old satellites, no weapons platforms, no shield generators, no defense fleets." Cole smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Just as I expected. Begin the attack formation. All ships prepare for planetary bombardment." But Dr. Park was watching her hidden scanner. It showed things the Empire's sensors could not see. Deep beneath Earth's surface, massive energy readings were starting to appear. In the asteroid belt, objects that looked like rocks were beginning to move. Near Jupiter's moons, something very large was powering up. She sent one more coded message to Earth. "The wolves are at the door." On Earth's surface, General Minho Lee received the message in his underground command center. He had been waiting for this day for 50 years. Around him, thousands of officers watched screens that showed the Imperial fleet taking attack positions. "Sir?" asked his aide. "Should we activate the defenses now?" "Not yet," Lee said. "Let them get closer. Let them think they are winning. When they realize the truth, it will be too late for them to run." In space, Admiral Cole was preparing to give the order to attack. He had no idea that hidden sensors were watching every move his fleet made. He did not know that weapons far more powerful than his own were tracking each of his ships. He did not understand that he had just made the biggest mistake in the Empire's history. Captain Kim smiled in his prison cell. Soon, his captors would learn why the predecessors had been so afraid. Soon, they would understand that some warnings should never be ignored. General Minho Lee walked through the underground tunnels beneath Seoul. The tunnels were much deeper than most people knew. They connected to a network of hidden bases that spread across the entire planet. For 50 years, Earth had been preparing for this day. "General," called Admiral Soman Choi as she hurried to catch up with him. "All defense stations are reporting ready. The solar fleet is in position." Lee nodded. "Good. What about our special weapons?" "Dr. Nam's team has finished the final tests. The kinetic platforms are loaded and ready. The Reaper drones are armed. Everything we built is waiting for your orders." They entered the main command center. The room was huge, carved out of solid rock miles underground. Hundreds of screens showed views from across the solar system. Officers from every nation on Earth worked together at control stations. They had trained their whole lives for this battle. "Sir," called a communications officer, "we are receiving the Imperial fleet's surrender demands. Should I put it on the main screen?" "Yes," Lee said. "Let us hear what they have to say." Admiral Cole's reptilian face appeared on the giant screen. His voice was cold and confident. "People of Earth, I am Admiral Vextar Cole of the Galactic Empire. Your world is now under our control. You have 1 hour to surrender completely. If you resist, we will destroy your cities one by one. You cannot fight us, you cannot win. Accept your fate, and you will be allowed to live as our servants." The transmission ended. The command center was quiet for a moment. Then someone started laughing. Soon officers all around the room were smiling and chuckling. "Servants," Admiral Choi said, shaking her head. "They want to make us servants." "Should we tell them the truth now?" asked Dr. Dongyun Nam as he walked over to them. He was the chief scientist for Earth's weapons program. His team had spent decades creating things the Empire had never imagined. "Not yet," Lee said. "Captain Yoon's squadron is ready?" "Yes, sir. They are waiting in the hidden launch bay on the moon. The pilots are excited to test their new ships against real enemies." Captain Yoon Ji-yoon floated in her fighter's cockpit inside Lunar Base 7. The base was hidden inside a crater that looked empty from space, but it held 200 of Earth's most advanced fighters. The ships looked nothing like anything the Empire had ever seen. "Attention all pilots," Yoon said over the radio. "This is what we trained for. Remember, these aliens think we are weak, farmers. Let us show them how wrong they are." Her fighter was called a Wasp. It was small and fast, with weapons that could punch through the armor of ships 50 times larger. But the real secret was its stealth system. Imperial sensors could not see it unless it wanted to be seen. "Moonbase 7, this is command," came Lee's voice over the radio. "You are cleared to launch. Show them what Earth's children can do." The hidden doors in the lunar surface opened. Yoon's fighter shot out into space, followed by the rest of her squadron. To Imperial sensors, the launch looked like a small meteor shower. On the Imperial flagship, Admiral Cole was growing impatient. "How much longer until they surrender?" 30 minutes remaining, sir," replied his aide. "Should we prepare to bombard their cities?" "Yes. Target their capital cities first. Make sure they can see the destruction from space. That will make them give up quickly." But the sensor officer was frowning at his screen. "Sir, I am detecting some unusual readings near their moon. It might be some kind of industrial equipment." Cole walked over to look. "What kind of equipment?" "I am not sure, sir. The readings are very faint. It could be mining operations or old satellites." Captain Yoon was now close enough to see the Imperial fleet. There were so many ships that they blocked out the stars. Each ship was massive, covered in weapons and armor. Any one of them could destroy a city. "Base 7, this is Wasp Leader," she whispered into her radio. "I count over 9,000 ships. They are arranged in standard Imperial attack formation. Shall I begin the demonstration?" "Affirmative, Wasp Leader. Pick a target and show them we are awake." Yoon selected an Imperial cruiser near the edge of the fleet. It was smaller than the flagship, but still 10 times larger than her fighter. She locked onto its main engines and fired. The Wasp's weapon was called a quantum lance. It fired a beam of energy that could cut through any known armor. The Imperial cruiser's engines exploded in a brilliant flash. The ship began spinning out of control. "What was that?" shouted Admiral Cole as alarms began ringing on his bridge. "Sir, the Conquest has been hit. Their engines are destroyed. We cannot locate the source of the attack." Cole stared at the screens in confusion. How is that possible? Where did the attack come from? Captain Yoon had already moved to her next target. She fired again, and another Imperial ship lost its weapon systems. Then she fired a third time, destroying a troop transport. "Sir," the sensor officer called out, "I am detecting multiple small objects moving through our fleet. They are too small to be ships, but too large to be missiles." "Fighters," Cole realized. "But our sensors show no launch signatures. Where did they come from?" Admiral Choi watched the battle from the command center deep under Earth. "Captain Yoon's squadron is performing perfectly. The Imperial fleet is in chaos." "Good," General Lee said. "Now activate the outer defense grid." Throughout the asteroid belt, objects that had looked like ordinary rocks began to change. They unfolded like metal flowers, revealing weapons platforms that had been hidden for decades. Each platform carried enough firepower to destroy a battleship. "Sir!" screamed the Imperial sensor officer. "I am reading massive weapon signatures throughout their asteroid belt. Hundreds of them. No, thousands." Admiral Cole could not believe what he was seeing. The empty space around Earth was suddenly full of hidden weapons. His scouts had missed them completely. How is this possible? We scanned this system dozens of times. Dr. Nam smiled as he watched from Earth's command center. Our stealth technology is 50 years ahead of theirs. They see only what we want them to see. The asteroid weapons platforms opened fire all at once. Beams of energy reached across space to hit Imperial ships. The aliens had never seen weapons so powerful. Their shields, which had protected them against every other enemy, were torn apart like paper. "Evasive action," Cole shouted. "All ships break formation and retreat to safe distance." But it was too late. Captain Yoon's fighters were now attacking from inside the fleet. The hidden weapons platforms were firing from all directions. In just 10 minutes, the Empire had lost 300 ships. "Admiral," called his communications officer, "we are receiving a transmission from Earth." "Put it through," Cole said, his voice shaking with anger. General Lee's face appeared on the screen. He was an older human with gray hair and calm eyes. "Admiral Cole," he said politely, "I am General Lee of the Earth Defense Forces. I believe you wanted to speak with us about surrender." "What is the meaning of this attack?" Cole demanded. "Your world has no defenses." "That is what we wanted you to think," Lee replied. "Admiral, you were warned not to come here. The predecessors left that warning for a good reason. We are not the weak farmers you expected. This is impossible. Our scouts saw exactly what we wanted them to see. Admiral, we have been preparing for your arrival for 50 years. Every ship you have, every weapon you carry, every tactic you use. We have studied all of it. We know how to defeat you." On the lunar base, Captain Yoon received new orders. "Wasp Squadron, this is command. Phase 2 is authorized. Target their command ships." Yoon smiled inside her helmet. Phase 2 meant they could use their most powerful weapons. Her fighter's quantum lance was just the beginning. "Copy that command. All Wasps, switch to heavy assault mode." The small fighters suddenly became much more dangerous. Their weapon systems unfolded, revealing cannons that could punch holes through battleship armor. They began attacking the Imperial command vessels, the ships that controlled the rest of the fleet. Admiral Cole watched in horror as his carefully organized fleet fell apart. Ships were exploding everywhere. His communications were being jammed. His sensors could not track the human fighters. "How many ships do they have?" "The fighters appear to be unmanned, sir," reported his tactical officer. "They are too small for human pilots, but they move like they are controlled by expert warriors." Dr. Nam nodded as he watched the battle reports. "The Reaper drones are working perfectly. Each one has the tactical knowledge of our best pilots, but they never get tired, and they never make mistakes." General Lee opened a channel to the entire Imperial fleet. "Attention, Imperial forces. You have entered Terran space without permission. You have threatened our world and our people. We are giving you one chance to leave. Withdraw now, and we will let you go. Stay, and you will discover why the predecessors feared us." Admiral Cole stared at the transmission in rage and disbelief. How had this happened? How had these humans become so powerful? And why had no one told him the truth about Earth's real strength? Ambassador Gemino stood in the main communications center on Titan base. The giant station was hidden inside Saturn's largest moon, invisible to Imperial sensors. Through the windows, he could see the beautiful rings of Saturn spinning slowly in space. But his attention was focused on the screen showing the Imperial fleet. "Sir?" called Lieutenant Minji Han from her station. "I am intercepting Imperial communications. They are calling for reinforcements from their home worlds." O nodded. "Let them call. It will take their reinforcements weeks to get here. This battle will be over long before then." Colonel Seo Bang walked up to him. She was the commander of Titan Base and one of Earth's best military leaders. "Ambassador, the Imperial Admiral is requesting direct communication with Earth's government. Should we allow it?" "Yes," O said. "It is time to make our position clear." The main screen flickered and Admiral Cole's angry face appeared. The reptilian, Alien looked shaken and confused. Behind him, his bridge was full of smoke and flashing red lights. "I demand to speak with Earth's leaders," Cole said. His voice was not as confident as before. "This attack must stop immediately." O stepped forward. He was dressed in a simple diplomatic uniform, but his eyes were hard as steel. "I am Ambassador O, representing the United Earth Government. You wanted to speak with us about surrender, Admiral?" "You cannot do this," Cole shouted. "The Galactic Empire is the strongest force in the galaxy. We have conquered hundreds of worlds. We have weapons that can destroy stars. And yet," O said calmly, "in the last hour you have lost 400 ships to a single human squadron and some automated defense platforms. Perhaps your empire is not as strong as you believed." Cole's claws dug into his command chair. "This is some kind of trick. You are using weapons from the predecessors. That is the only explanation." O smiled. "Admiral, every weapon you have seen today was built by human hands in human factories. We learned to fight by watching you conquer other worlds. We studied your tactics. We learned your weaknesses, and then we built weapons specifically designed to defeat you." On Titan Base, engineer Kyung-Soo Park was monitoring the battle from his technical station. For 20 years, he had been studying captured Imperial technology. He knew their ships better than most Imperial engineers. "Colonel," he called to Bang, "their fleet is trying to regroup near Jupiter. Should I activate the defense grid there?" "Not yet," Bang replied. "Let them think they have found a safe place. When they start their next attack, we will show them how wrong they are." The Imperial fleet was indeed gathering near Jupiter. Admiral Cole had ordered all remaining ships to fall back and form a defensive formation. He needed time to think and plan a new attack. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we have lost contact with 600 ships. Many more are damaged. The humans have weapons we have never seen before." "How is this possible?" Cole demanded. "Our intelligence report said Earth was a primitive world. They grow food. They have no real technology. They should not even have space travel." "Perhaps," suggested his aide. "The reports were wrong." Cole turned to glare at him. "Are you saying our scouts lied?" "No, sir, but maybe the humans were hiding their real strength. Maybe they wanted us to think they were weak." Back on Earth, General Lee was meeting with his senior officers in the command center. The first phase of the battle had gone perfectly, but he knew the real fight was just beginning. "Admiral Choi," he said, "what is the status of our deep space fleet?" "All ships are in position," she replied. "The Imperial fleet has no idea we have forces outside the solar system. When they try to call for help, they will find their communication routes blocked." "Excellent. Dr. Nam, are the Stellar Hammer weapons ready?" Dr. Nam nodded. "Yes, sir, but I recommend we save those for last resort. Once we use them, every species in the galaxy will know what we can do." Lee understood. The Stellar Hammer weapons could make stars unstable. They were designed to threaten entire star systems. Using them would announce to the galaxy that Earth could destroy any world it chose. "We will keep them in reserve," Lee decided. "For now, let us continue with conventional weapons." Ambassador O was still talking with Admiral Cole. The Imperial commander was becoming more desperate as he realized how badly he had underestimated Earth. "What do you want?" Cole asked. "Do you want tribute? Do you want us to leave your system alone? Name your price for peace." O's expression did not change. "Admiral, you came here to conquer us. You planned to destroy our cities and enslave our people. You ignored warnings that had kept this system safe for 1,000 years. And now you ask what we want?" We made a mistake," Cole admitted. "We did not know you were so powerful. We can negotiate. The Empire is willing to discuss terms." "The time for negotiation was before you brought 10,000 warships to our home," O replied. "Now there is only one choice. Leave our space immediately or we will destroy every ship in your fleet." Cole's eyes blazed with anger. "You cannot threaten the Galactic Empire. We have millions of ships. We have weapons you cannot imagine." "Then, why?" O asked quietly. "Are you losing this battle?" Colonel Bang watched the tactical displays from her command post on Titan. The Imperial fleet was trying to organize for another attack. They had learned to be more careful about the human fighters, but they still did not understand what they were really facing. "Lieutenant Han," she called, "what are the Imperials saying to each other?" Han listened to her intercepted communications for a moment. They are arguing about whether to retreat or attack. Some want to call for massive reinforcements. Others think this is some kind of human bluff. "A bluff," Bang said with a smile. If only they knew the truth. The truth was that Earth had not yet shown its real power. The fighters, the hidden weapons platforms, even the advanced technology. All of that was just the beginning. Humanity's real strength lay in things the Empire could not imagine. Engineer Park activated a new scanning system. Immediately, detailed, information about every Imperial ship appeared on his screens. "Colonel, I have complete scans of their entire fleet. I can tell you the weak points of every ship they have. Send that information to all our weapons platforms," Bang ordered. "Let us end this quickly." The hidden weapons in the asteroid belt began firing again. But this time their shots were perfect. They hit exactly the right places to disable Imperial ships with minimum energy. Engines exploded. Weapon systems failed. Shield generators overloaded. Admiral Cole watched in horror as his fleet was torn apart by impossibly accurate fire. "How do they know exactly where to hit us?" His engineer looked at the damage reports. "Sir, they are targeting our weakest points. They know our ship designs better than we do." "That is impossible." "Sir," called his sensor officer, "I am detecting new ships approaching from outside the system. They are not Imperial designs." On the main screen, new vessels appeared. They were sleek and beautiful, clearly built by human hands. But they were much larger than the fighters, and they carried weapons that made Imperial cannons look like toys. "Admiral," Choi's voice came over the communication system. "Imperial fleet, this is Admiral Choi of the Solar Defense Force. You are completely surrounded. Your retreat routes are blocked. Your reinforcements will not arrive in time to save you. Surrender now, and you will be treated according to the laws of war." Admiral Cole stared at the screen showing human warships on all sides of his fleet. Somehow these primitive farmers had built a navy that made the Imperial fleet look weak. "How many ships do you have?" he whispered. "Enough," Ambassador O replied from Earth. "Admiral, the predecessors tried to warn you. Earth is not a world you can conquer. We are not a people you can enslave. We have spent centuries preparing for this day. Every strategy you might use, every weapon you might deploy, we have already planned countermeasures." Cole's aide leaned over to him. "Sir, we have lost over 1,000 ships. Our remaining forces cannot win this battle." "Then we retreat," Cole said. "Signal all ships to withdraw." "I am afraid that is not possible," O said from the screen. "Your ships are now trapped in our solar system. The only way you leave is if we allow it. And we will only allow it if you agree to our terms." "What terms?" O's voice became hard as iron. "You will return to your empire and tell them what happened here. You will tell them that Earth is protected by weapons they cannot defeat. You will make sure they understand that any future attacks will result in the complete destruction of their fleets. And most importantly, you will spread the word to every species in the galaxy that the age of Imperial conquest is over." Admiral Cole realized he had no choice. His mighty fleet was beaten. His plans for easy conquest had become a nightmare, and these humans, these primitive farmers, had revealed themselves to be the most dangerous enemy the Empire had ever faced. President Na Shin stood before the United Earth Assembly in Geneva. Representatives from every nation on Earth were present, along with delegates from the colonies on Mars and the outer system. Today, she would address not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. "My fellow humans," she began, "and to those listening across the stars, today marks a new chapter in galactic history. For 1,000 years, the Galactic Empire has conquered world after world. They believed nothing could stop them. They were wrong. The battle in the Sol system was over. Of the 50,000 ships the Empire had sent, only 3,000 remained functional. The rest were destroyed, captured, or disabled by human forces. Admiral Cole sat in a human prison cell, finally understanding why the predecessors had left. Their warning. General Sun Wukong walked through the captured Imperial flagship. Human technicians were studying every piece of alien technology they could find. Engineers were learning how Imperial ships worked so they could build better defenses. General called one of his aides. "We have received surrender messages from 17 Imperial worlds. They are asking for human protection." Kang nodded. "Send diplomatic teams to meet with them. Make it clear that we offer friendship, not conquest. We will protect them, but we will not rule them." This was the difference between humanity and the Empire. The aliens conquered to expand their power. Humans fought to protect the innocent. When Imperial worlds learned that Earth offered protection without demanding servitude, many chose to rebel against their alien masters. Dr. Youngmin Cho was documenting everything for the historical record. As Earth's chief historian, he understood the importance of what was happening. This was not just a military victory. It was the end of one age and the beginning of another. "President Shin," he said after her speech, "the galaxy will never be the same. How do we help them understand what we offer?" "By showing them," she replied. "Actions speak louder than words." Across the galaxy, human fleets were appearing at Imperial worlds. But instead of conquest, they brought liberation. Slave worlds found their chains broken. Oppressed species discovered that someone was finally strong enough to challenge the Empire. Captain Hyunwoo Kim, now free from his Imperial prison, was commanding one of these liberation fleets. He had seen the Empire's cruelty firsthand. Now he was helping to end it. "Captain," reported his navigation officer, "we are approaching the Kepler system. The local species sent a message asking for our help." "What is their situation?" "The Empire has been using their world as a mining operation for 200 years. The population lives in work camps. They want to be free." Kim smiled. "Then we will free them. Signal the Imperial garrison that they have 1 hour to evacuate. After that, we will remove them by force." The Imperial forces in the Kepler system had heard about Earth's military power. They chose to retreat rather than fight. Within days, the mining camps were closed and the local population was free for the first time in centuries. Admiral Choi was coordinating similar operations throughout Imperial space. Human ships were appearing everywhere, offering protection to anyone who wanted freedom. The Empire's carefully built structure of fear and control was falling apart. "Admiral," called her communications officer, "we are receiving messages from over 300 worlds. They all want to join the new Galactic Alliance." "What alliance?" Choi asked. "The one they think we are forming. Many species believe we are creating a new government to replace the Empire." Choi shook her head. "Send a message to all worlds. Tell them we are not here to rule anyone. We offer friendship and protection, but each world must govern itself." This message surprised many alien species. They were used to being conquered or ruled by stronger powers. The idea that humans would offer protection without demanding control was completely new to them. Dr. Nam was working on the most important project of his career. The Empire still had millions of ships scattered across the galaxy. Some Imperial commanders might try to continue the war. Earth needed to make sure this could never happen again. "General Lee," he reported, "the Stellar Hammer network is complete. We now have devices that can destabilize any star in the galaxy. If the Empire tries to attack any free world, we can destroy their home systems." Lee looked troubled. "Such power should never be used lightly." "It will not be," Nam assured him. "But the Empire needs to know that the age of conquest is over. They can choose peace, or they can choose to have no worlds left to rule." President Shin was preparing for the most important speech in human history. Every species in the galaxy would hear her words. What she said would determine whether the future held peace or continued war. "Citizens of the galaxy," she began, broadcasting to every inhabited world, "I am President Shin of the United Earth Government. 3 months ago, the Galactic Empire attacked our world. They came expecting easy conquest. They found instead that humanity has been preparing for this day for 50 years. On worlds across the galaxy, beings who had lived under Imperial rule listened in amazement. The small species called humans had defeated the mighty Empire. We did not fight this war for conquest," Shin continued. "We fought for the right to live in peace." But in winning our freedom, we have also won the power to help others find theirs. To every world that wants to be free, we offer our protection. To every species that chooses peace, we offer our friendship. Admiral Cole, watching from his prison cell, finally understood what the predecessors had tried to warn about. Humanity was not just militarily powerful. They were dangerous because they inspired others to fight for freedom. The Empire had ruled through fear, but humans offered something much more powerful: hope. But let no one mistake our mercy for weakness, Shin's voice continued. To those who would rebuild the Empire, to those who would enslave others, to those who would bring war instead of peace, we offer this warning. We are the children of Terra. We sleep lightly, but we dream of peace. Do not force us to wake. Message was clear. Humanity would not conquer the galaxy, but they would protect it from anyone who tried. General Kang was receiving reports from across human space. President Shin, over 1,000 worlds have requested to join our defensive alliance. They want human protection from any remaining Imperial forces. Accept all requests, Shin replied, but make it clear that this is a defensive alliance only. Each world keeps its independence. We protect, we do not rule. Dr. Cho smiled as he recorded these events. Madam President, do you realize what you have done? You have created the largest peaceful alliance in galactic history. No empire has ever controlled so much space through voluntary cooperation. That is the difference between us and the Empire, Shin replied. They ruled through fear. We lead through trust. Years later, when historians studied this period, they would call it the Great Liberation. In just 6 months, the Galactic Empire collapsed completely. Not through conquest, but because its subjects chose freedom over slavery. The humans kept their promise. They protected free worlds from any remaining Imperial forces. They shared technology and knowledge freely. They asked for nothing in return except that each species respect the rights of others. Some alien philosophers called it the human paradox, a species so powerful in war that they could enforce peace across the galaxy. Others called it the Terra doctrine, the idea that true strength comes from protecting others, not conquering them. Admiral Cole spent his remaining years in comfortable retirement on a human colony world. He was free to leave any time, but he chose to stay. He had learned to respect the beings who had defeated him so completely. Sometimes he would tell young aliens about the war, always ending with the same warning. Never underestimate the humans. They are not like other species. They fight not for conquest, but for something much more dangerous: the belief that all beings deserve to be free. The galaxy had peace for the first time in 1,000 years. Trade flourished between free worlds. Art and science advanced as different species shared their knowledge. Children grew up knowing they would never be slaves. And in the Sol system, Earth continued to appear as a simple farming world. But now every being in the galaxy knew the truth. Behind the peaceful facade lay the most powerful military force the universe had ever seen. A force dedicated not to conquest, but to making sure that freedom would never again be threatened by those who would enslave others. The predecessors had tried to warn the Empire. The children of Terra sleep lightly. Now the galaxy understood what that meant. Humanity would always be watching, always be ready, always be there to protect those who could not protect themselves. The warning in the galactic databases was updated one final time. To those who would enslave others, remember the fate of the Galactic Empire. We are the children of Terra. We dream of peace, but we are prepared for war. Choose wisely. Admiral Cole refused to surrender. His pride would not let him accept defeat from what he still believed were primitive humans. Signal all Imperial reinforcement fleets, he ordered. Tell them to bring everything they have. I want 50,000. Ships here within 2 weeks. His communications officer looked worried. Sir, our long-range transmissions are being blocked. I cannot reach our home worlds. What do you mean blocked? There appears to be some kind of interference preventing our signals from leaving this system. Fleet Admiral Taehyung Seo smiled from the bridge of his hidden battleship Terra's Wrath. His deep space fleet had been positioned around nearby star systems for months. Every Imperial communication route was now under human control. Captain On, he said to his second-in-command, begin Phase 3. It is time to show the Empire what happens when they ignore our warnings. Captain Junho On nodded and activated the fleet-wide communication system. All ships, this is Terra's Wrath. Execute Protocol Starfall. Show them that Earth's children protect more than just our home. Across a dozen star systems, human warships that had been hiding in asteroid fields and gas clouds suddenly revealed themselves. They began attacking Imperial supply bases, communication stations, and reinforcement fleets that were trying to reach Earth. Dr. Chanwu Lim watched the battle reports from his laboratory deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. He was Earth's chief weapons scientist, and his creations were about to change the course of galactic history. General Lee, he called over the communication system. The Imperial fleet is calling for massive reinforcements. Should I prepare the stellar hammer weapons? Not yet, Lee replied. Let us see how they respond to conventional defeat first. In the Sol system, Admiral Cole was growing desperate. His fleet had been trapped for 2 days, and he was losing ships every hour. The humans seemed to have unlimited ammunition and perfect targeting systems. Sir, reported his tactical officer, the humans are not trying to destroy us completely. They are disabling our ships instead of blowing them up. Cole frowned. Why would they do that? Perhaps they want to capture our technology, suggested his aide. Major Heun Jong listened to this conversation from her hidden position on an Imperial command ship. She had led a boarding party onto the vessel during the night, moving through the ship like a ghost. Imperial security systems could not detect her or her team. Command, this is Alpha Team, she whispered into her radio. We have access to Imperial battle plans. They are planning to ram their remaining ships into Earth's major cities. General Lee's voice came back immediately. Stop them. Use any force necessary. Zhang and her Marines moved through the Imperial ship like shadows. They had trained for years in zero-gravity combat. They knew how to fight in enclosed spaces. Most importantly, they knew how to be utterly silent and completely deadly. Tintu, First Imperial Guard never saw them coming. The second guard had time to reach for his weapon before Zhang's energy blade cut through his armor. Within minutes, the Marine team had taken control of the ship's bridge. This is Major Zhang of the Earth Defense Forces, she announced to the surprised Imperial officers. This vessel is now under human control. Any attempt to resist will be met with immediate force. Admiral Cole received reports that 3 of his command ships had been captured by human boarding parties. How is this possible? How did they get aboard? Sir, we are detecting no human ships near our fleet. They must have some kind of stealth technology we cannot detect. Find them, Cole roared. Use every sensor we have. But the human Marines were already gone, moving to their next targets. They used personal stealth fields that made them invisible to Imperial sensors. They could walk through enemy ships like ghosts, appearing only when they chose to attack. Captain An was coordinating the assault from Terra's Wrath. His ship was the most advanced vessel humanity had ever built. It carried weapons that could destroy planets and defenses that could withstand the explosion of a star. Sir, called his tactical officer, the Imperial fleet is trying to break through our blockade near Jupiter. Should we intercept? No, An replied. Let them try. Colonel Bang's forces are waiting for them. Colonel Bang watched from Titan Base as the Imperial fleet approached Jupiter's moons. The aliens thought they could hide among the gas giant's many satellites. They had no idea what was waiting for them. All Jupiter defense platforms, this is Colonel Bang. Activate on my command. Jupiter's moons suddenly bristled with weapons. What the Imperials had thought were scientific research stations were actually military fortresses. Europa, Ganymede, Io, and Callisto all revealed massive gun batteries that had been hidden for decades. Sir, screamed the Imperial sensor officer. All of Jupiter's moons are armed. They have weapons everywhere. Admiral Cole could not believe what he was seeing. Every moon in the Jupiter system was firing at his fleet. The weapons were more powerful than anything the Empire had. His shields, his armor, his most advanced defenses, nothing could stop the human attack. This is impossible, he whispered. How long have they been preparing for war? The answer came from Ambassador O, whose face appeared on Cole's screen. "Admiral, we have been ready for this war since the day we learned the Galactic Empire existed. That was 50 years ago. We have used every day since then to prepare for your arrival." 50 years? We captured one of your scout ships in 2337. We learned about your empire, your methods, your plans for galactic conquest. We decided that when you finally came for Earth, you would find us ready. Dr. Lim activated his most secret weapon system. Hidden throughout the solar system were devices that could affect space itself. They created gravity wells that could trap enemy ships. They could bend light to make human forces invisible. Most terrifying of all, they could create artificial black holes that would swallow anything nearby. "General," Lim reported, "the Imperial fleet is trying to escape toward the edge of the system. Should I activate the spatial traps?" "Do it," Lee ordered. "Show them that there is nowhere to run." Space itself seemed to bend around the fleeing Imperial ships. Gravity wells appeared from nowhere, dragging the alien vessels off course. Some ships found themselves trapped in areas where time moved differently, making their engines useless. Admiral Cole felt his flagship shake as something grabbed it with invisible hands. "What is happening to us?" "Sir, we are caught in some kind of gravity field. Our engines cannot break free." "The humans have learned to control gravity," Cole realized. "They can manipulate space itself." Fleet Admiral Seo decided it was time to end the battle. His deep space fleet had cut off all Imperial escape routes. The aliens were completely surrounded with no hope of rescue or retreat. Admiral Cole, SEO's voice came over the communication system. "This is Fleet Admiral SEO of the Terran Deep Space Fleet. You are hereby ordered to surrender your remaining forces immediately." "I will never surrender to primitive humans." "Then let me show you how primitive we are." The human fleet suddenly revealed weapons that defied Imperial understanding. Beams of pure energy reached across space to disable entire squadrons of alien ships. Missiles that could think for themselves hunted down Imperial vessels no matter how they tried to hide. Most terrifying of all were the human ships themselves. They moved like living things, dodging Imperial fire with impossible grace. Their hulls seemed to absorb enemy weapons and convert the energy into power for their own systems. "Sir," the Imperial tactical officer reported, "our weapons are making their ships stronger. Every time we hit them, they become more powerful." Captain On smiled as he felt his ship absorb another Imperial attack. "Adaptive armor systems working perfectly," he reported to his crew. "Their weapons are feeding our defensive grid." Major Zhang's Marines had now captured 15 Imperial ships. Each capture gave them more intelligence about Imperial tactics and technology, but more importantly, it showed the aliens that humans could appear anywhere, anytime. "Command," Zhang reported, "Imperial morale is breaking. Many of their officers are asking about surrender terms." "Good," replied General Lee. "It is time to offer them a choice." Admiral O appeared on every screen in the Imperial fleet. His voice was calm but carried the weight of absolute authority. "Officers and soldiers of the Galactic Empire, you have seen Earth's true power. You have learned that we are not the weak prey you expected. Now you must choose. Surrender and live, or continue fighting and die." Several Imperial ships immediately signaled their surrender. Their crews had seen enough human technology to know they could not win. But Admiral Cole still refused to give up. "Any ship that surrenders will be destroyed by my personal guard," he threatened over the fleet communication system. Captain On sighed. Some beings never learn. He locked his ship's weapons on Admiral Cole's flagship. "Admiral Cole, this is your final warning. Surrender now, or I will demonstrate why the predecessors feared us." "Do your worst, human." On activated a weapon that had never been used in battle before. A beam of energy struck Cole's flagship, but instead of destroying it, the beam seemed to freeze the ship in place. The vessel became trapped in a bubble of altered time where everything moved incredibly slowly. "Admiral Cole," On announced, "you are now experiencing time at 1% of normal speed. To you, this conversation will last hours. To us, it takes seconds."